Hello and welcome to today's second video of using your breath to explore a state of grace. This morning we worked on moving from 4-part breath into 3-chamber breath. This is something that's an optimal practice to do on a daily basis perhaps, or a consistent basis, in order to keep the 3 chambers of your torso nice and clear and open. This goes along with what we talked about yesterday with allowing your lungs to expand to the optimal capacity, and how that impacts the rest of your breathing. And so when we do that with the lower torso, the middle torso, and the upper chest, then we can see how clearing out all of these areas of our torso will then allow for even more optimal breath. But this is not a practice of breath that you would have in your yoga practice on your mat. You wouldn't be doing 3-chamber breath unless you did it at the beginning of class or at the end of class. You wouldn't be practicing this throughout your practice. That would be your Ujjayi breath, right? Which is your 4-part breath moving into Ujjayi breath. But that's a great thing to do maybe before class starts, right? When you come into your practice and you sit on the mat and you're waiting for class to start, or personally on your mat space, if you do your practice at home, if you want to do nice clear 3-chamber breath, that's a great way to start a practice and then move into your 4-part breath to your Ujjayi breath, so you can have optimal breath flow as you move through your postures, your asanas. Yesterday afternoon, we talked about as well, how you can bring in these aspects of breath, your inhale, pause, exhale, pause, into the daily mat practice, right? And so when we were looking at the 4-part breath moving into Ujjayi breath, we know that we're utilizing all of those parts of breath throughout our asana practice. And so I had suggested to you, when you were in mountain pose or when you were in downward dog, these were the moments that you would take those few breaths and really be mindful of connecting with those 4 parts of breath, right? So that you're in your mountain pose, whether you're here or you're here, and you take the time to inhale and feel that expansion and pause there, and then exhale, letting all of the breath out, and feel that vastness of space. And with that pause, just sit with that emptiness, which I talked about yesterday as being the openness where we can move into grace. This afternoon, what I would like to look at is when we're moving through a sun salutation. In particular, I will look at the Classical Sun Salutation A. When you work through a sun salutation, the teacher is always saying, you move with your breath. So what does that mean exactly? And so as we talked about, each part of your breath has a role to play. Likewise, in your asana practice, each part of your breath has a role to play. So I'm going to move through a Classical Sun Salutation A, and as I'm doing that, call out these parts of breath for you to connect to, so that the next time you come onto your mat space, or the next time you practice a Classical Sun Salutation A or even B, or transitioning that to the modern sun salutation, recognizing and honoring each of those parts of breath and attaching the movement with the breath as opposed to breathing and moving. All right, so we will begin. I don't have my mat here because I don't need one on this floor. But you would begin at the front of your mat, hands at heart center, and in your Ujjayi breath, because that would be the breath that you would be moving through in your asana practice. And so with a nice smooth inhale in, we sweep our arms up. There's a pause here. And then exhale is when we fold forward, because we can't fold into a full belly. We need to empty out that belly. And we pause in that emptiness. With that pause, we step our foot back, in this case our left foot back, bringing our left knee to the mat. Inhale, sweeping up into our modified crescent. With our exhale, again, we're closing off, compressing the air out of us. And with the pause, we step back to a plank, come onto our knees, chest, chin. With our inhale, press up to a cobra. In the pause, we lower down and exhale back to a downward facing dog. In the pause, we step our right foot forward, bring left knee down. Inhale, expanding open to the modified crescent. Exhale, hands come to the mat and step the back foot forward. With your inhale, sweeping your arms all the way up. Exhale, back to prayer. So as you can see, each of the parts of breath play a vital role. With all of the inhales, we're opening up and expanding our torso. With that, that means we're opening up our digestive tract, saying, woo, hello, let's have some space to get things moving. And with every exhale, then we're compressing. And so that's why it's important for every kind of downward movement, when we're moving against gravity, we're expelling the breath out. There are some key moments where we are moving in the pause. And this is the pause where our breath is emptied out of us, the pause between the exhale and the inhale. So we have no obstacles in our way for the movement. We are clear of that. So we have room to move into that and grow. So hopefully the next time you practice your classical sun salutations, you'll keep in mind moving with the breath as opposed to moving and then breathing. And really feel the expansion with your inhale and how you can lift that rib cage and lengthen that spine. And with your exhale, each compression as you close your body inward and move away from gravity. And that movement in the pauses, how you have that vastness of space to allow yourself to have those movements. I look forward to seeing you on your mat soon in the studio. And again, join me tomorrow where we will be doing another breath practice first thing in the morning. Have a fantastic rest of your day.